All right, well, welcome back to the channel. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a video series on how to tear the motor apart and tear the motor out of your LTR. So if you've never done it and you want to do it, this is how you do it. So first things first, you got the bike here. You want to take your plastics off and and you also want to drain the oil and the coolant out. And I like to do it out there so that they don't get oil and coolant in my garage. So I like to drain the coolant into a container, and then I can reuse the coolant. So you'll need a 10 millimeter end wrench for the oil, and you might need a Phillips screwdriver for the coolant. And let's try to set the camera here, right here. So your coolant hose, I pull it off the bottom one right here. I usually will loosen the clamp up, and then I'll scoot it up here and tighten it back down. So that it don't fall off, and then when you go to put it back together, it's right there. And I got my jug. Now you're not going to catch it all. But if you can catch a lot of it, that save you a few bucks down the line. And you want to pop your radiator cap off, which is usually where it makes a mess, which is why I do it outside. That's good enough. So we get the coolant out of it. It's dripping down. And now we'll switch sides. If you've never taken the oil out, the drain plug's on the other side. And you only have to pull one. You don't have to pull both of them. And then you'll have oil in your reservoir tank, but you don't even have to worry about that till you get there. So your drain plugs underneath here on the bottom, there's two of them. Don't know if that helps. Probably not. So let's see if I can point them out here. Underneath your bike, there's a drain plug, and then there's another one right here. So you want to loosen one of those up. And they're pretty long-winded, so it'll probably take you a minute to loosen them up. I don't use a socket on these. I guess you could use a socket and a wobbly if you wanted. I just like to get on them, especially when you're tightening them up. You definitely don't want to cross-thread these. These are in the inner cases. You can, if you get one that's messed up, you can put a Healy coil in it. One of the bikes I bought at one time had one that was messed up. We're almost there. So I'll leave that there. And then I usually like to do the little airflow through here. And you could have warmed it up. Drain a little bit easier. A little warmer oil. But whatever, not a big deal. So I got the front plastics off. Now I'll pull the rears off. And another thing you want to do when you're taking your liquids out, you want to pull your gas out of your gas tank. So we'll do that in a second. And stay tuned. All right. Well, hold on. All right, so we're back. Oils should be drained out of this. So if you've brand new, you just got an LTR. So you want to pull your rear plastics off. You got these bolts right here. They're Allen's. Well, these things are that way factory. There's an Allen here. Same on the other side. And then you want to pop your seat off. The levers right here underneath. So you want to pop that off, pull that off, and hold on, give me a second. So you get your seat off. And then you will you want to pull these out right here. These are 10 millimeters. And then your rear plastics will come off. You got 2 clips here for your tank. And then you'll have 2 clips here for your top of your tank. Once you get those off, you can pull those off. And if you see, I got my lights in here, so you'll want to unplug those. And you'll get those unplugged. And I already had the front plastics off. Don't remember why. That'll get your tank cover off, rear plastics off, and then drain the gas out of there. And then we'll get ready to remove the tank. All right, so we got the gas draining out of this. And for me, I don't have it shut off. I don't run a swirl filter. So I just pull it off the fuel pump here, the hose, shove it in my can, and we're letting it drain out into the can. Again, I do it outside so that it's pouring in here. And then we can get ready to remove the gas tank. So you're going to need 2 tools you're going to really need is when you're just pulling the plastic stuff off, 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter, and obviously an Allen wrench. So we'll pull these 2 bolts off right here and here, and then we'll pop these fun things off for the fuel, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we're pulling the fuel pump off. Just to show you guys, if you never pulled the fuel pump off. Fuel pump bolts are right up here. tucked up against the frame right here. Hold on, where's my light? I don't know. Jesus. Right in those holes right there. So you'll pull that off, your fuel pump off, and you'll want to unplug it right here, and that will get your fuel pump out. And pulls your fuel pump off. There is a little screen in these, so if you ever have fuel problems, you can pull these Phillips off the top and clean that out, because that can cause fuel issues for you. Kind of set that out of the way. So once that off, something else, obviously, like I said, we want to pull the air box so we can move it a little bit. There's an air box bolt there. There's an air box bolt right here. And then you want to loosen your boot right here. And then there's another one right up here in the front, right up here. That'll loosen the boot. But we want to loosen this one so we can see how we slid it back, you know, just a quarter an inch, half an inch. That'll give us some play when we go to pull the fuel injection off there, and to give us enough play to pull the motor out. And also, we do have this out so we can pull, let's see if I can get in there, the vent hose that's right here that goes to your air box. You can pull that off, and then you can also pull this vent tube off right here. Let's just see if I can man finger it. Oh, so you can pull that off. We'll have to use a screwdriver on the other one, and then pull those off. You can get that out of there, and then we will pull the oil reservoir tank off, take the chain off, and then we can pull the motor mounts off, and start unplugging all the wires. And I'll show you when we get there how to do that. So if you got any wires that are being held on, like down here, that are zip tied, whatever, you can just get rid of these. We'll zip tie them back when we put it back together. And then we can unplug the wires. So you'll have the mess of wires right here that are your plug-ins, but you can unplug all of this stuff. You're off your fuel injector. You'll have a plug here. You'll have a plug on your air box down here for your sensor, and then you'll have these other plugs right here. You'll unplug all these that go down to your battery box, and you'll unplug those. And then also I run a zip tie down. Oh no, it's a bracket and a zip tie. So you'll want to cut those zip ties too, so that everything's out of the way. I'll get all that unplugged and be right back. Bye. Okay, LTR guys, before you pull your motor out, one thing I highly recommend you do is you take your plug that is right here and you pull that out so that you don't break the plastic cap off the top of those. They're about $50, and seems like I break one every time I pull a motor. But that is highly recommended. Pull this out for your coolant. It'll save you $50 from not breaking it off. Anyway, you're welcome. All right, so before this video is done, something I'd like to do is when you're pulling out the last bolt, which is the bolt that goes through the back of the motor. Just makes it easier. You can use a block of wood, or if you got a small floor jack, you can put the floor jack under there and jack it up underneath here where the swing arm hits the frame and relieve some of that pressure. You can jack that up, and then you should be able to pull this out. Once this is pulled out, we'll get the motor out. So you get all the motor mount bolts out. You want to twist it sideways like this. Get the top out. You gotta watch out for these wires that are right here on your frame. Watch out for your shift lever. You can take that off. You can take that heavy bastard out of there. And then throw it up onto your bench. You know, and then your wires get hooked and your hook your foot peg. Don't drop it. Ugh. And there you go. Your LTR motor is out. Highly recommend. These are these go underneath your refrigerator. Kind of nice so all your parts can get in here. So I'll do the top end and everything, the basket, the stator side, and all in this one. And then when I do the bottom half of the transmission, we're gonna put it in there. Maybe you're asking, why am I tearing it apart? So I bought one of those transmission kits from Australia that fixes the LTR transmission. You have to have an 08 LTR transmission for you to be able to do that. And I looked at the kit, and I'll show you the kit in the next video. Looks pretty legit. Replaces a shaft, 3 gears, and a bunch of other little miscellaneous parts, clips and stuff. Still waiting on parts. I'm replacing the shift works while I'm in there. So when we get those, we're gonna tear this apart and get there. But maybe a long-winded video. I'm gonna edit this out. So thanks for watching. If any of this helped, cool. And thanks.